Chosen one, listen closely because I have a secret from heaven. A personal truth that will unlock immense favor for you today. This revelation kept hidden until now guarantees you will feel more loved than ever before. But you must hear it all. Do not skip a single word. What I need to tell you is going to be hard to take in because you have spent so long feeling like no one sees you. God is totally in love with you. Not just a little bit, not putting up with you, not loving you because he has to like you might have quietly thought. No, he is madly, deeply, almost wildly in love with you. And there is a special reason, something particular you did that made heaven love you this much. You probably do not even remember it as anything big, but heaven has never stopped talking about it. Today, I'm going to tell you what it was and why it moved God so much. I know this sounds weird to you. You spent so much time feeling like you weren't loved at all, and that you had to work hard to earn it. Your sense of self-worth is based on how much you do, how useful you are, and how well you keep things running for other people. In the back of your mind, you've been hurting because you're afraid that people will love you less if they see how tired, used up, and struggling you really are. So, the thought that God is not only okay with you, but also crazy about you seems almost impossible to grasp. You should still listen to me because what I'm about to say will change the way you see everything in your life. I'll tell you what touched heaven. It wasn't your successes or the times you had everything under control and gave a lot when you had a lot. Something you did when you had nothing left touched God's heart. You know the one. There was a time when you felt completely empty, like you had no strength, resources, or reason to keep believing. Anyone who was honest would have understood if you had just given up. Even though you had nothing left, you still did the right thing. You still gave. You prayed anyway. You still came. Even though it would have made more sense to be angry, you chose love. That made heaven's heart melt. This is why that made God so sad. When you have a lot, anyone can be faithful. Anyone can praise from the top of a mountain, give from plenty, and believe when things are going well. That is the rarest and most valuable thing a human heart can offer. To do the right thing, even though it costs you everything and gives you nothing in return, even when no one is looking and there is no reward in sight. It is the purest kind of love because it doesn't want anything in return. When heaven saw you do that from the most empty place, it didn't see weakness. It thought you were the most beautiful thing it had ever seen. If the moment I'm talking about makes you feel something or makes you think of it, do one thing with me. Before we go any further, talk about the words I gave from empty. This isn't to brag, but to help your heart remember what heaven has never forgotten, that you cared more than you knew and loved even when it cost you everything. What you need to know about this kind of love. The love of God doesn't depend on how well you do. It has to do with your heart. Heaven knew everything it needed to know about you. From the way your heart looked when it was empty, you're not just what you've done. You were the one who loved even when it wasn't good for you. The most honest thing about you is what God fell in love with, not the perfect person. You act like you are, the honest, worn-out version that only those in heaven could see. But I need to tell you the truth because you came here to hear it. You haven't been able to feel this love even though it's been pouring over you the whole time. The love has always been there, but you haven't been able to receive it or feel it land. And that block is what makes even the most loved people feel hopelessly alone and loved. The reason why heaven might be yelling its love at you while you hear nothing. What that block is and what researchers in New York found out about it will be in the next part of this message. because what they found gives words to a deeply spiritual problem that people have had their whole lives, but never knew how to explain. Hold on to this one question for now. What if the reason you felt unloved wasn't because of a lack of love, but because of something that needed fixing in you that lets love in? Put that question on hold, we'll get back to it. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. Faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. First though, I need to take you deeper into that empty moment and show you what heaven was doing while you thought you were by yourself. Because telling the truth's words will make something that has been hurt for a long time better. The pain of not being loved has changed you in many ways. This way you'll know I'm talking about your life and not someone else's. You have mostly become the giver in relationships. The one who gives and rarely receives. This is because you decided that being needed was the closest thing to being loved. It's been hard for you to let people care about you. You've pushed their kindness away and told them you were fine because getting care makes you feel exposed in a way that giving care never does. You've also thought when you're by yourself about whether anyone would stay if you stopped being useful and let them know how tired you really are. That's the wound that this message is meant to heal. Another thing that may have been hard for you is believing that God could be happy about you and not just love everyone. You can believe that God loves everyone. You can't quite believe that God smiles and calls you by name. That the one who made everything has favorites and you are one of them. It sounds too good, too personal, and almost cocky for me to believe, but I'm telling you that it's true. And that the reason heaven can't stop talking about you is because you've been faithful from the beginning. In general, no one loves you. No matter what, you are loved fiercely and by name. If you could feel even a little of it, it would crush you. Take me back to that empty moment and show you what was really going on. You believed you were the only one going through it. You didn't think anyone saw how much what you were doing was hurting them because you kept going even when there were good reasons to stop. But heaven made itself bigger. A stillness fell over what couldn't be seen. The kind that happens when something holy is happening. Because to heaven, seeing a person choose faithfulness out of complete emptiness is one of the holiest things in the world. There were people in the room, not just empty seats. Being watched by God who couldn't take his eyes off of you because what you were doing broke his heart with love. Just think about what your faithfulness from emptiness proved. It showed that your love wasn't just a deal. A lot of people love God because He gives them good things. When they are blessed, they praise. But when the blessing ends, they pull away. But you gave praise when there wasn't any. You stayed even though there was nothing in it for you. You answered the most important question that heaven could ever ask, a heart. Will you love me for who I am or just what I can do for you? You answered with your life during the worst time of the year, and you said yes. That yes spoken from a place of emptiness is more valuable to heaven than 1,000 simple praises spoken from a place of plenty. Here's the first thing I want you to really get. You felt like you had nothing to offer during the empty season that you were embarrassed about. But that was the season when you gave the most valuable thing you have ever given. You only remember how weak you were, how little you had, and how barely you were able to hold on. Heaven looks back on it and remembers the best time of your faith. In your mind, the season you felt like you had the least to give was the season you gave the most because you gave from nothing. And the best kind of love is giving something away for free. Because you've been afraid of emptiness all your life. Let me change the way you think about it. You saw your empty seasons as failures, as proof that you were not blessed or faithful enough, or that you were doing something wrong. The empty season wasn't a punishment. Though in your whole life, the most beautiful acts took place on that stage. Heaven was not absent when you were empty. When you were empty, heaven was closer than when you had plenty. Because that's when the truest love shows itself. When you thought you had nothing left, you were seen and loved more than ever. Know this, the love didn't come because you finally earned it in that empty moment. There was love all the time. The empty moment showed a heart, so lovely that heaven wanted you to know for sure how much they love and care for you. If that just changed something about you and you now see your most empty season as your most beautiful one. Write this down. Talk about the words, "It was my best hour." That's a big thing to understand. That's when someone stops being ashamed of how empty they are and starts seeing it where their love shines brightest. The second thing starts to heal you. Not being able to feel loved doesn't mean you don't deserve to feel it. It's because the part of you that loves has become weak. You've been the strong one for everyone else for years. But the part of you that wants to receive has become almost numb from years of giving without receiving. Love has been pouring over you, but you're too tired to feel it. Because the surface is so rough. This is what happens to people who are kindest. They get so good at putting out energy that they quietly stop being able to take it in. Then when love pours down on them, they feel empty. It changes everything about your fight. It was never the love that was wrong. You thought that feeling unloved meant that you were unloved or that there was something spiritually wrong with you. The problem was the reception, which is not a moral issue like worthiness is. It's a capacity, and capacities can be brought back. You don't need to improve yourself to get love. You are already loved more than you can know. You need to heal the part of you that feels love, so that the ocean of love that has always been around you can finally reach you. The problem you have been fighting is not the same as that one. And there is a way to solve it. I promised I would talk about what a group in New York found about this block. The numbness that makes people who are loved feel unloved. This discovery doesn't matter until you fully understand the problem it solves. I'm almost ready to bring it forward. Also, before you answer, you should think about what it would be like to receive the love that has been after you your whole life. You have earned that future by staying true to me even when you felt empty. Let me show it to you. Now, one more thing I need to tell you before we talk about the vision. This third thing will keep what you are about to receive safe. As soon as someone who hasn't felt love in a long time starts to feel it again, grief often comes to the surface. When the receiving part of you opens again, all the years of feeling unloved, all the times you needed care and didn't get it, and all the loneliness you pushed down to keep going can come up all at once. Don't be scared of that. The sadness is not a setback. What it is thawing. When a limb that has lost feeling starts to feel again, it hurts. This is a sign that the body is healing, not hurt. That's why you should let the tears come if love starts to reach you. They are a sign that the numbness is going away and that you can really receive again. So, let yourself feel everything ahead of time. You don't need to be strong during this part. Right now, you don't need the same strength that got you through the tough times. Now, you need to be willing to be loved, which is a lot more likely to be hurt than being willing to give. Let God love you. Let the people you know look out for you. Do not deflect. Don't keep telling yourself you're fine. Let yourself receive. You used to have the courage to give when you were empty, but now you need to use that same courage to receive when you are full. That's where your faith is going next. Let me show you what your life will be like when you can picture waking up one morning in a few months and feeling love right away. Not because of a change in the outside world. The part of you that can receive love has been healed. Not because someone finally said the right thing. Now the love that has always been around, you can finally reach you. Being happy is something you can't deny as you lie there in the quiet. It's warm, steady, and clear. The pain that you've been feeling all the time and the fear that you were on the edge of love instead of in the middle of it are both gone. It's gone, and now I know for sure that I am loved. People want me. My name was picked out. I'll show you the first part of that future. Stop putting on shows for love. After a long time of working hard to prove your worth by being useful, you finally stop having to do it because you know you already have it. Now you give not to get love, but because you already have it. And that makes all the difference. Giving when you're empty to get love wears you down. You feel full when you give because you know you are loved. This fills you up as you pour out. When you change the base of your life from striving to receiving, everything about how you move through the world changes. This is the other side of it. Your relationships change. You built walls to hide so that no one could see you. Now that you know you are loved, being seen is no longer scary. You let other people take care of you. You don't try to avoid being kind when you receive it. You let people know about you, not just use you. You find out that the people who love you have been waiting years to give you something you wouldn't them. When someone feels lonely, it's not because they aren't loved, but because they can't receive love and the connections that had become weak. And one way we became full, alive, and two, this is the third phase which heals the deepest wound. You can finally feel God's smile, the connection with heaven that seemed far away. Duty-bound and one-sided gets close. You can feel the joy, love and closeness of a God who is crazy about you and not just putting up with you. When you pray, you stop wanting to talk into space and start wanting to be held. This is what your soul has been craving more than anything else. To feel loved by God, not just to love God. It's always there for you once the receiving part of you is back to normal. I don't want you to miss the fourth side of that future because it has to do with where you live. snorts people close to you will no longer feel like they can't reach you when you finally receive love instead of just giving it. They have tried to love you for years and seen it bounce off the armor you didn't even know you had on. The person who is healed can finally give you what they've always wanted to give. In your closest relationships, love starts to flow both ways. And a bond that was only one way turns into one that goes both ways. Not only does healing make you feel better, it also finally lets the people you love you. Hold on to that future right now, because what you say starts to come true. Talk about the words, "I am madly loved." Say it not like a beggar hoping, but like a chosen one getting what was always theirs. Let me give what moved heaven to you, an old face. Because you're not the first person whose gift from emptiness broke God's heart. Remember the old woman who gave 2 small coins. Rich people gave a lot of money, but no one remembered their names. The one who knows everything pointed at her and told her she had given more than everyone else because while they gave from what they had extra, she gave from what? But a poor widow gave 2 coins which were all she had to live on, and heaven stopped to watch. She didn't have. The world didn't notice her gift because it was so small. People still talk about her gift after thousands of years because it was so pure. That's what your gift from non-being did. No one in the world noticed. Heaven has talked about it all the time. What you can give has become your measure of how valuable you are. Heaven looks at how much it costs, and the thing you gave when you had nothing left costs more than the biggest gift someone with everything could get. That's why love came to you the way it did. It wasn't because your gift was big. It was because it was everything. You didn't give from what you had extra. You gave because you needed it, and that's the only love that heaven loves more. I'll tell you who you are. You aren't the unloved person who is waiting to be picked out for love. You are the widow with the 2 coins, the one that heaven showed. God cared more about that person's quiet, costly faithfulness than all the loud, easy gifts of the comfortable. You're not close to falling in love. You are right in the middle of it all. And it's time for the part of you that loves to finally know it. Let me finish the loop I started with. Someone told me that researchers in New York had found something about the block that makes loved ones feel unloved. Feeling numb in the part of you that gets it. I told you I would get back to it. This is why I waited until now. A solution is only useful when you fully understand the issue it seeks to solve. You now know what the shape is. To be numb costs you something. The way it kept you dry when love poured down. You've seen what would be possible if you could feel that love. Now you're finally ready for the rest. But I have to tell you the truth about why this answer has been kept from loving honest people for so long. It's not because heaven tried to hide it. It's because the answer is somewhere most spiritual people don't think to look. It doesn't come wrapped in religious language. The stuff comes from a lab. The most important thing I will say in this whole message is the link between what science has found and what your spirit has been calling for. Let me carefully build that bridge for you. Now, because your heart is very soft and should be treated with the utmost care. Researchers led by Dr. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Prize for proving that the human brain is split into 2 parts called hemispheres that were designed to work. People who were very spiritual and loving were never told about something that was proven in a lab in 1981. Together in sync. Researchers call it whole brain activation. When all of these parts of the brain fire at the same time, it is also possible to fully feel, receive, and take in love, presence, and connection. When you are in that synchronized state, part of your ability to receive love, the part that has gone numb, depends on this state of being in sync. It was never just spiritual that you couldn't feel the love around you. It had a measured length, and that length has a name. This part will make you hold your breath. Researchers found that this synchronized whole brain state is the default for about 98% of young children. You can see love when you watch a little kid get it. The carefree whole body way they take it in. But by the time they are adults, less than 1% still live there. The ability doesn't go away just because you failed God. As time goes on, the noise, the constant giving without receiving, and the years spent in survival mode pull the two halves further apart. Not being able to feel loved is not a metaphor, and it's not a flaw in your soul. It is a real thing that can be measured, and things that are physical can be fixed. Let me tell you about two people before I tell you what the repair is. A Californian woman had tried everything. Every practice or community suggested prayer. Writing in a journal eddy was something she did. She kept ending up in the same spot. She believed what was said, but she couldn't feel what it meant. She said something got better after 10 days. A channel that had been closed off was opened up all of a sudden. It wasn't because she worked harder, the receiver had been fixed. Something similar was said by a man from Texas. This person kept things together for everyone else while their own life got thin. It felt like I was talking into a wall when I prayed. He had stopped noticing the fog as fog after 2 weeks because it had been there so long. That's because of what neuroscientists in New York led by Dr. Daniel Barron made. The technology they used was clinical neural sync, which is a whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings. It took them years to compress and improve it until it was an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. 8 minutes a day with headphones on and eyes closed. That's the only thing that's needed. The smart switch is what they call it. It's not an app for meditation. This isn't a mood sound. It is a specific set of sounds that were created based on Dr. Sperry's Nobel Prize-winning research to bring the two hemispheres back into sync and return the brain to the state it was in when you were a child. Not everyone can use the genius switch. That person who has given from a place of emptiness for years loved even when it cost them everything and felt loved by no one is finally ready to stop seeing their numbness as a spiritual flaw and start seeing it as something with a real. It's for the chosen one who knows that God not only planned to love them, but also made them able to receive it. Address. People who have accepted that they will always feel unloved will probably scroll past this and not read it. You're still here. That isn't a mistake. That's the strength of a heart that loved even when it was empty. It will surprise you how much it costs, so let me tell you, people who work with Dr. Barron told him that this was worth at least or 500. Neurofeedback that is done in person costs $300 an hour. It can cost $7,000 for a home machine. It wasn't put out at $500, $200, or $100. At $49 it came out today on the direct page. It comes with 4 free extras, a guided visualization from a well-known author, a grocery list that saves you $100 a month, a text from the 1800s on attracting provision, and a printable list of 5. An extra 10 off brings the price down to $39. Daily habits. All of it comes with a money-back guarantee that doesn't matter what if it doesn't help you like it has helped over 18th zeros and other people. You can get your money back. There are no conditions. Let me say this in a way that will speak to your heart. When you are in the synchronized state, you can feel the love that God has put all around you. In a way, it's not in the numb one because the part of you that knows it is finally back. Not because the love is new. This is it. The love that has been after you your whole life has already been poured out. There's only one question left. Are you awake enough to feel it land? Also, it's important to say that if you look for something on common platforms that sounds like this, you will find copies. The group looked into them and found that most of them did not have any real neural sync. How it works is what makes the difference, and they were the only ones who could build it. The only source that has been checked is the direct page, which is where the link in the description and the pinned comment goes before you decide anything. Read everything there. Listen carefully because what I'm about to say will keep your heart safe. The tool doesn't stand in for God. It doesn't make love happen. That's not what it does for you. The love that God has for you is not dependent on any tool. A tool that heals just lets the love that is already pouring over you finally reach the part of you that has been too numb to feel it. Share your thoughts on the words, I'm ready to receive as a chosen one who is tired of being left out in the rain of love. Some of you may be starting to. If your spirit told you something while I was talking, don't try to argue it away. Doubt, and I understand that. Let me answer that question. You've done things before. Apps, sound files, and practices that said they would help you feel something and did for a few days before making you feel nothing again. I get how tired you are, but hear the difference. Most of what is sold only shows a small part of the whole and leaves the two halves just as separated as it found them. Dr. Barron's work is based on a layered protocol that was refined over years of clinical work. It works at the level of hemisphere synchronization, which is where the numbness comes from. That is not the same mechanism, and different mechanisms lead to different kinds of results. This is also why you never felt loved when you tried. If you try harder to feel, you can't bring the receiving part of you back online. Slowly, a few minutes at a time, you bring it back until feeling loved is normal and not just an occasional treat. The main idea behind this message is not a tool, though. Once you are ready to receive, God's love will finally reach you. Let's go back to that because the most important part is still ahead. For the chosen one who felt something stir when the mind was talked about earlier, that door is still open in the description and the comment that was pinned. It's only a small step, but small steps taken from a heart that is healed have changed whole seasons. I will only point to that place. Everything left in this message is connected to something deeper, and it's time to go back to that. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pin. Comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of. It is a sign from God, our COF community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. I want to talk to you about who you are now after years of feeling unloved. Yes, you are the beloved. You are not someone who wants to be loved by being good enough. You are already loved, even though you are tired, worn out, and flawed. You never had to work for love. It has always been behind you, under you, and around you. The base you were standing on while you looked everywhere for it. You're not someone who is trying to be liked. Learn to believe that you already are who you are. You are also a loyal person. You show that your love doesn't change with the times in a world full of love that does. You loved when you were empty. You stayed even though it wasn't good for you. That kind of loyalty is the most valuable thing in heaven, but you wasted it during your worst times without even realizing how much it was worth. God only knows how much it's worth. And the love that is coming at you now, which is strong, personal, and overwhelming, is not charity. That's the answer. God loves you back with everything because you loved Him for nothing. And you are a way for other people to receive love. You were so numb that you couldn't feel love. And you also couldn't feel how much you have to give. You don't just feel loved when the receiver in you is brought back to life. You can love others from a place of fullness instead of the tired emptiness you have been giving from for a long time. The people in your life are about to meet a new version of you who loves them not because you have to earn their love, but because you already have it. You no longer become a well that is empty. That's the gift that this healing hides. Let me give you something to use in your everyday life. Since revelation that isn't put into practice wears off by morning before the demands of the world hit you every day. Take a moment to just receive. The idea is the same whether you do it through stillness, breath, or the restoration I talked about earlier. You don't start your day by giving everything you have to everyone else right away. You start by letting yourself be loved. You fill the well before you give. People who give all day and never get anything back are usually the ones who get burned out. If you start each day by receiving, you will pour out from a place of fullness instead of the empty place that has been draining you for so long. This second practice should be kept up. It's important not to argue or accept the old belief that you are not loved when it comes back. Give it a name, say it out loud. This is the numbness, not the truth. The numbness says no one loves you. You have to earn it. You are on the edge. The truth, on the other hand, says you are the beloved in the middle, loved beyond measure. The lie only controls you while you believe it to be true. Calling it a lie takes away its power. As soon as you realize it's just static from a system that can't feel, it loses its power. And the love that was always around you comes back to you. Just one more real story before we sign off on this. It will help you keep your faith. Someone had spent their whole life being the strong one, the one who gave and no one thought to care about. When the part of them that could receive love was finally brought back, they didn't say that they felt loved more, but that they could finally feel the love that had. In their hearts, they knew that being needed was the best way to feel loved. Been there all along. The people who loved them were still the same. What changed was that love could finally land. And they cried not because they were sad, but because they were so happy to finally feel what they had been craving. That isn't an okay case. That's what happens when someone with a giving heart meets someone who can feel what they have always deserved. Before we end, I want to show you something and have you do it with me. This is where the message stops being words and becomes an experience. Take it easy wherever you are. Do not hold yourself up. Take a slow breath in and out. Imagine that you are outside in the rain. But this isn't any rain. Love has been falling on you like rain your whole life. You stood under it for years wearing a heavy coat that you didn't even know you were wearing. It was made of tiredness, self-defense, and the idea that you had to work for something that was already yours. In this picture, feel that coat being gently taken off your shoulders. You can feel the first drops hit your skin. Feel how warm it is. His love has been falling on you all along and now you can feel it. It's not because you finally did enough. It's because it never stopped. Bring your face up to it. Allow it to soak into the dry spots. You're loved. You've always been loved. You can finally feel it now. Now, slowly, I'd like to bring you to the end of this message. The part where what you felt is sealed in your mind. You don't have to force a thankful breath. Just let out a quiet amen that you were loved, that you have always been loved, and that the love has been there for you even when you thought you were by yourself. That is an act of grace and it should be accepted before anything else. Let me show you how to get free. Now gather everything you came in with the belief that no one loved you. The weariness of working hard and the thick layer of self-defense snorts like sand in your hands. Then open your hands and let it fall. Stop trying so hard to be good enough. Don't worry about whether you're too much or not enough. Free yourself from the loneliness you felt even in crowded places. Let it all fall out of your hands and hit the ground. You'll feel lighter afterward. Rise into who you are from that lightness. Say it with me. Even if you don't say it out loud, I am loved. I am deeply, deeply, deeply loved for who I am, not for what I do. God's heart was moved when I gave from the bottom of my heart. Now I open my hands and heart to finally receive the love that has been chasing me all along. If your whole heart agrees, say something. About the words, I am the beloved, let that be the truth that your loneliness. Here's today as a chosen one who is done. Seal it where you can see it. Drying out in a flood of love. Listen to this last word over your life. You don't need to be loved right now. There is already the love for you that is so strong that it would destroy you to fully see it. God will always remember what you did when you had nothing left. Don't look for love on the edges of your life anymore. It has been in the middle the whole time, running down like rain, waiting for you to lift your face. You are deeply, completely, and forever loved, and that's how it is. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says give and heaven will open over you on this platform. Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart. And as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens open before we get to the end of this powerful story. Let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to this site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member clears throat or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.